What's up everyone, it's the Martial Commander back with another Star Wars video, and today we're going to be going over 5 Darth Vader facts you probably didn't know. But before we start, I'd just like to thank you all for helping me reach 100 subscribers. It means so much to me. Welcome to the Grand Army, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and join the rest of us. So let's get right into the video. Number 5. Darth Vader is able to sense the presence of others as long as they are within the same star system as him. This alone gives him some of the best force senses of any dark side or light side user. Many Jedi and Sith can sense danger when others are lying and the presence of someone on the same planet, but very few can sense others on a whole different planet. Even less have the power to sense them in the same star system. In the canon novel Tarkin, written by James Luceno, we can see these senses put to work. Vader turned to Tarkin. "We sidestepped the smaller trap only to fall into the larger one, Governor. If nothing else, we now know the reason we were lured here." Bringing his left hand to the brow of his helmet, he paced away from Tarkin, and the ambassador then swung back to them.
"The ship is still in the Makai system."
Tarkin didn't waste time asking how Vader knew that to be the case. Number 4. Vader is extremely fast, a blur to even some of the quickest Force users. Now, it's true that the suit did hinder Anakin Skywalker's natural speed. There's no doubt about that, and he would be much faster if he didn't lose his limbs. But it did not make him slow by any means, and the suit did not hinder his connection to the Force. Using the Force, he was able to constantly amp his physical attributes, so much so that he was able to become a blur to others. Here's a low-end feat for Vader taken from the novel Lords of the Sith. Vader was 40 meters away from her. He stood up straight, towering over the crew near him. He was looking right at her, his lightsaber held at his side, and she could feel the weight of his regard pressing against her like a punch. He exploded into motion, moving toward her at preternatural speed, his strides devouring the deck space between them. Crew scrambled out of the way at his approach, his dark form knifing through them. She raised her blasters and took aim, shooting as fast as she could pull the triggers, scribing the air between them with lines of red energy. Vader didn't slow his sprint, and his lightsaber was a blur as he came on, deflecting her shots in all directions. A few came back at her. One hit the pallet and sent Tool skittering along the deck. Another scorched the bulkhead beside her, but still, she fired. So as you can see from this, he's not only a quick duelist, he can clear distances at insane speeds as well. But if that low-end feat doesn't prove much, when truly using his power, he well outclasses even Darth Sidious in speed, who can be considered one of the most agile darkside users in history. Once again, from Lords of the Sith novel, we have. With preternatural speed, the Emperor drew, ignited, and slashed at the girl with his lightsaber, but Vader had sensed his master's intent and moved with greater speed, igniting his own blade and intercepting his master's blow before it could land. And last but not least, while assisting a colony of former Tatooine slaves living on Gabrador 3, 2 of his childhood friends, Wald and Kitster, were tackled by a species known as Tangors. Now, keep in mind these Tangors seemed to be notably fast with how they hunted, but before any of them could get the chance to simply bite down and eat up, Vader managed to slice through every single one before anyone could even tell what was happening. He has some insane speed feats. Number 3. Vader had many worshippers. There were whole religions based around him, but there's 2 notable ones I'd like to discuss. The Alzemek of Winsett are the first ones. These were Sith cultists located on the planet Mustafar who worshipped Darth Vader and Lady Corvax, idolizing their power and working on bringing their planet back to life by planting iron trees and worshipping. We actually even see Kylo Ren absolutely obliterate them in The Rise of Skywalker. The next one is even cooler though. Believe it or not, the Tusken Raiders worship Vader as well, believing he is a god. Sometime after his fall to the dark side, Vader returned to Tatooine to speak to Jabba the Hutt. While there, he slaughtered another village. One of the Tuskens survived though, and while mourning his loved ones, another tribe captured him and burned him alive in front of a giant effigy of Vader, believing worship was the only way to keep their village safe from his wrath. Number 2. Darth Vader didn't lose his full potential. Yes, you heard that right. Contrary to popular belief, Darth Vader still has the full potential of Anakin Skywalker, at least when it comes to strength in the Force. This was confirmed by Leland Chi, the man who quite literally maintains the Holocron Continuity Database, which is pretty much an official database that keeps track of everything that goes on in Star Wars. When asked if Force users losing parts of their body weakens their potential in the Force, Chi states that Maul has lost the lower half of his body and still seems pretty powerful, so I'm gonna have to go with no. But even before this, it was already easy to find. Digging into Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader, we can see even Palpatine stating that Vader didn't lose potential, his power is only hindered by his mental state. It is all psychological. Where Darth Sidious had gained everything, Vader had lost everything, including, for the moment at least, the self-confidence and unbridled skill he had demonstrated as Anakin Skywalker. On top of this, midichlorians are counted by amount per cell, not by the total amount in the body. It'd also be pretty ridiculous if body mass determined strength in the Force, because if that was the case, Yoda wouldn't be a Grand Master and any Force-sensitive Hutts would be able to solo the Jedi and Sith. Good thing current canon scrapped that. Number 1. Darth Vader is able to tear open a gateway to the netherworld of the Force. I actually made a whole video on this, so make sure to go check it out. It'll be in the description. Darth Maul, an ancient Sith Lord who loyally served the dark side, had to lure Vader into opening it due to him being the only one powerful enough. Vader opened it once, fought off a horde of Mustafarians, killed Momin by making the dark side serve him, then with only one arm, tore it open again and traveled into the afterlife. Here he had the power to revive Padme, but she slipped out of reach once again as she jumped off the balcony, not wanting to go back with Darth Vader, the man who killed Anakin Skywalker. So we can see here, he has the power he needs. He's the only living Force user who's ever been able to travel into the afterlife while still living, and he can bring Padme back. But of course, with the movies, we can't have Padme coming back, so she'll always be just fingertips away from him. It does show just how powerful he is though, that he can even tear open that one and only gateway. Anyways, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As I said at the beginning of this video, I'd love to have you all be a part of the Grand Army. Is there any facts about Darth Vader you think should have made the list? Did you learn anything new from this video? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you all in the next one. May the Force be with you.
Looks like we got ourselves a batch of shinies, Commander. It's shiny and new, just like you.
I have to admit that without the clothes, it would not have been a victory.